Imagine waking up, grabbing your coffee, opening your phone, and realizing the Pixel 10, Google's big secret weapon for 22 and 25, has already been fully exposed weeks before launch. Not in grainy spy photos, not in vague whispers from sources. No, I'm talking crystal clear, high-res, billboard-ready shots that practically scream, why even bother waiting for the event? Well, that's exactly what just happened. And here's the twist. You think you've seen it all from the leaks, but trust me, we're just scratching the surface. Because what's coming with the Pixel 10 series isn't just about colors and cameras. It's about Google's most aggressive play yet to cement its spot in the smartphone elite and maybe even dethrone the giants who've ruled for too long. Oh, and some of these changes, they're going to spark debates you'll still be hearing months after launch. Welcome back, viewers. Sam here. If you love deep dives in the tech that's shaping our future, you know the drill. Hit like, tap subscribe, and share this video with every fellow tech nerd you know. Now, let's crack open this Pixel 10 situation piece by piece, because there's a lot more here than meets the eye. So the leaks, they didn't trickle out. They came down like a flash flood. The Pixel 10, Pixel 10 Pro, and Pixel 10 Pro XL have all been photographed, rendered, and leaked to the point where you could almost print a cardboard cutout and pretend you own one already. But here's what's wild. Google's still holding back the full picture. Every time we think we've seen the final leak, something bigger drops. And that's exactly what just happened. We've now got the clearest, sharpest look yet at the entire lineup from base model to foldable flagship. And yeah, there's some stuff here that's going to make you rethink what you thought you knew about Pixel phones. Let's start with the regular Pixel 10. This is where Google's clearly decided that entry level doesn't have to mean boring. It's rocking a 6.3-inch Actua display, same smooth 120Hz refresh rate as last year, but with tweaks that make it brighter outdoors and punchier in color. Perfect for those brutal sunny days when your screen usually washes out like an old postcard. And if you think this is just a recycled Pixel 9, hold on, because under the hood, you're getting the new Tensor G5 chip. That's the same silicon the Pro models are using. This so-called entry phone is going to handle AI tasks, gaming, and multitasking without breaking a sweat. And yeah, it still packs 12 gigs of RAM, which means swapping between apps will feel like flipping channels on a TV. But the thing everyone's talking about isn't the chip, it's the color. Lime Cello. That's the new bold option, and it's not just a marketing gimmick. It's bright, unapologetic, and totally exclusive to the base Pixel 10. No Pro, no XL, just this one. Which means if you want to walk around with a phone that people can spot from across the street, this is the model you'll need to grab. And yes, this is already sparking debates online. Some say it's the most fun Pixel color ever. Others think it's a bit too loud. Me. I think Google knew exactly what they were doing. In a market full of safety black and white slabs, Lime Cello is a statement piece. Now, you might be wondering, what about battery life? Well, the Pixel 10 is rumored to be getting a jump from last year's 4,700 mAh to just under 5,000 mAh. That's huge for a phone this size, and if Google's claims hold, you're looking at 24 hours of use or up to 72 hours with extreme battery saver. Real-world numbers, we'll see. The Pixel 9 didn't always hit the mark, but that bigger cell could make a serious difference. Oh, and charging, there's a new Pixel Snap wireless charging upgrade. Think faster speeds, better alignment, and rumor has it, reverse charging that's finally more than a party trick. Slide over to the Pixel 10 Pro and Pro XL, and things get even more interesting. These two are where Google flexes its proud muscles. Same Tensor G5 chip, but here you're getting 16 gigs of RAM. That's laptop territory, and it means you can push these phones harder without hitting slowdowns. The displays are stepping up too. Super AXA panels at 6.3 and 6.88 inches, brighter, sharper, and with HDR, so vivid you'll swear you're watching through a window. But the real story, the cameras, last year's Pixel 9 Pro cameras were already top tier, but this year Google's pushing the limits. You've got a triple rear setup, 50MP main, 4K telephoto, and 4K ultra-wide. And the telephoto, buckle up, it's offering 100x zoom. Yeah, 3 digits. Now, 100x zoom always sounds better on paper than it looks in reality, but if Google's image processing magic can make those shots even halfway usable, that's a serious win. The Pro models also pack a new 42MP front camera. For context, that's higher resolution than a lot of laptop webcams combined. Whether you're on video calls, streaming, or just trying to get the perfect selfie, this is overkill in the best way. And here's the thing, Google's not going crazy with the design changes. If you put the Pixel 10 Pro next to the 9 Pro, you might struggle to tell them apart at first glance. The camera bar, same iconic look. Bezels, slightly thinner, but not drastically. Body, still premium, still balanced in weight. Which might make you think this is just an incremental update until you start digging into what that Tensor G5 is doing for AI features. Rumor mill says we're getting Live Translate 2.0, which could handle full video call translations in real time, no more awkward pauses. Imagine FaceTiming someone in another language and having their words translated right on your screen as they talk. Combine that with upgraded on-device photo editing, things like Erase Anything for video frames, and suddenly these phones feel less like phones and more like pocket-sized production studios. But hold up, because we haven't even touched the Pixel 10 Pro Fold yet. This is the crown jewel, and while it's probably launching later than the rest, think October instead of August, it's shaping up to be Google's most ambitious piece of hardware yet. We're talking an 8-inch Super Actua Flex display on the inside, a 6.4-inch Actua outer display, and the same Tensor G5 and 16 gigs of RAM as the Pros. Battery life is expected to cross the $5 an mAh mark, which for a foldable is impressive. And yes, there's a triple rear camera setup with up to 20x zoom, designed to rival the best from Samsung and Huawei. Here's where it gets spicy. Google seems to be aiming the Fold directly at Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 7. The timing lines up. The specs are competitive, and if Google can undercut the price even slightly, they could lure in a ton of foldable, curious buyers who've been hesitant to go all in on Samsung. And if you've been wondering whether foldables are finally ready for the mainstream, this could be the year we get our answer. The August 20th launch event. At this point, it might feel like a formality, but make no mistake, Google loves to save a few tricks for the stage. We could still see surprise software features, unexpected pricing strategies, or even an extra accessory or two. And speaking of pricing, that's the million-dollar question. If the base Pixel 10 stays competitive, think around the same or slightly less than the Pixel 9 and the Pro models don't creep too high, Google could be looking at one of its biggest sales years yet. Throw in carrier deals, Proter perks, and color exclusives, and suddenly you've got a lineup that appeals to everyone from budget-conscious buyers to bleeding-edge tech enthusiasts. What's fascinating to me is how much of Google's strategy here seems designed to create FOMO at every tier. Want the loudest, most eye-catching Pixel? You're buying the base model for Lime Cello. Want the absolute best cameras? You're going Pro or XL. Want to live in the future with a tablet that folds in half? You're waiting for the Pro Fold. Each one offers something unique enough to make you second guess your choice. And that, my friends, is marketing genius. Now here's a curveball with so many leaks. Some people are saying the hype will die before launch. But history tells a different story. Remember the Pixel 6 leaks? People still lined up, figuratively and literally, on launch day. Because specs and pictures are one thing, but the in-hand experience, the little software touches, the unboxing, those still matter. And if Google nails those, the Pixel 10 could be remembered as the lineup that finally pushed Pixel into the big leagues, not just as the camera phone, but as the complete package. So, what's my takeaway? The Pixel 10 series isn't just about incremental hardware bumps. It's about positioning. Google's learned that to compete with Apple and Samsung, you don't just match them spec for spec, you outmaneuver them in the spaces they overlook. Colors, AI features, real-world battery life, and a foldable that actually feels premium. That's the playbook for 2025, and here's the kicker, we might not have even seen the best part yet. There are whispers, small, unconfirmed, but persistent, that Google's hiding a new AI assistant mode that makes the current assistant look prehistoric. If that turns out to be true, it could be the feature everyone's talking about after the launch, even more than 100x zoom or Lime Cello. Until then, all we can do is watch the leaks keep pouring in, debate whether frost is secretly the best color, and wait for Google to step on stage and officially pull back the curtain. But if you ask me, curtain or no curtain, the Pixel 10 is already center stage.